Hey folks, Miles Cranston here from Fit Alive Coaching. Hey look, today I want to talk a bit about an article I read recently on the news, and there's been a lot of talk recently about obesity rates and the unhealthy living and lifestyle that people are now living. And it's become sort of a point that I think there needs to be some addressing rate. There's a lot of challenges to this. And, first of all, the story is absolutely true. And hey, look, no brainer. We are eating poorly, we are living inactive lives, and we've become very sedentary and very, very sort of hooked on our devices. We've become like the what they call the TikTok generation, where people aren't moving enough, people aren't getting out and enjoying fresh air, or aren't partaking in sort of sporting events or things like that. And so I add to this our fast-paced and stressful lives where we're working too long in the office, or we're working too long. We've got both parents out working usually just to make ends meet, and as a consequence, food choices and our health has really dropped. And it's quite an issue. Where this becomes a bigger issue and a bigger cost to everybody is, of course, in our health, and things like hospital waiting lists, people getting sicker. And we've seen recently with, some of the COVID sort of pandemics and stuff like that, people sort of, living these unhealthy lives, it's caught up on them. So, I guess probably one of the big questions is, what can we do about it? And a lot of people will point to the government and say the government should do something. And, to a certain extent, I agree in some parts. We could look at things like removing GST off fresh food and meat, and some obvious choices. I mean, like recently, I read a story where people could go and buy New Zealand lamb in the UK or overseas cheaper than they can here. And it just astounds me that we have a country where we produce all this beef and lamb, and yet we're paying through the nose for it. This is ridiculous. I've had people try and explain this to me over the years, that it's part of the global meat prices and things that we have. But surely we can do something. The government could do something to reduce local sourced meat costs for people, everyday people who live in the country who are just trying to eat healthy. That is a bit of an issue, and I guess pointing the finger at the government, that is something that could be done straight away. And I don't see how that would be that complicated, to be honest. If you've got a farm down the road here in Greytown that can sell meat directly, or sell to a butcher who can sell locally produced home kill meat, then I don't see that should be a hard thing for the government to change. But, what can we do about this? And, we are living in a cost of living crisis. The cost of food and everything has gone crazy. I mean, I was just at the supermarket the other day and went in to buy some cauliflower, half a cauliflower, $5.99. From Countdown, and I could not believe how expensive that was. So it is expensive, and some people often say to me, "Hey, Miles, living health is expensive," but compared to other food choices, which will become a burden later on in your life. If you keep eating some of the cheap processed foods, you're going to end up sort of getting unhealthy, and it's going to cost you in the long run. So here's some tips. Here's some tips that I would suggest you do straight away. So look for specials. You can buy things on bulk. I was in the supermarket just the other day, and chicken breast and chicken drumsticks were on special. So I just grabbed a whole heap of that sort of stuff. So you can buy bulk meat on special. You can also look at farmers markets. Sometimes going to local farmers markets, or in Lower Hutt and Wellington, for example, they have a riverbank car park every Sunday. I think it's every Sunday or every Saturday. But anyway, there's a market down there, and you can often go and buy fresh vegetables quite cheaply direct from the suppliers. So that's one thing to look at. Also, buying some frozen vegetables. I mean, I know it doesn't taste great. It's a little bit watery, but you can often buy things that are snap frozen, have got all the same nutrients that the fresh stuff has, and that can be a lot cheaper. I mean, I like broccoli and cauliflower, for example, and I can go down and buy a mixture of broccoli and cauliflower for about $4 for, I think, about a kilo or 500 grams or something like that, which is a quarter of the price of buying it fresh. So those are some options, buying some frozen beans, frozen vegetables and stuff like that. Another thing is buying bulk carbohydrates. You can go to a lot of the bulk bins, shops, and you can buy things like 1 kilo bags of rice or 5 kilo bags of rice, things like pinto beans, kidney beans, all those sort of things you can buy in bulk. And these sort of foods can be stored for months, if not years. So, it's a great source of carbohydrates, some great sources of vegetables, and some great lean protein sources as well. I do a lot of hunting, and, I have to admit, it's quite handy being able to go out and source my own meat. And that is something that you might want to sort of look into, looking at upskilling and learning about how you can get into hunting and stuff like that. And that can be a great opportunity and a great way to get some lean meat and stuff like that. So really, the key thing is eating healthy, is eating well. Yes, we have got an issue with our obesity rates soaring through the roof and things like that. And, for people to come out on this news story and say, hey, New Zealanders have to change how they're eating, it's not that difficult. If you eliminate all processed foods from your diet, you will start to lose weight dramatically. I mean, that's all you have to do. Reduce processed foods, eliminate them completely, reduce the amount you're eating, and find out and understand what your macros are. And this can make a massive difference. When you understand this, then you can plan. And the other thing is to bulk prepare. Prepare in advance for sort of those moments when you're sort of busy and you're getting home and it's night time, it's dark, it's tired, and you can't be bothered cooking anything sort of fresh and healthy, is to prepare stuff in advance. So, a lot of things that I do is I'll prepare a lot of meals, and I'll do like about 10 meals in advance, put them in the freezer, and if I get home and it's late and I'm tired and I can't be bothered, I can whip one of these out of the freezer and I can heat it up in the microwave in no time at all. So, there's some great ideas about that, and I really encourage you to look at bulk buying and bulk cooking. And the other thing is, if you buy in bulk, let's just say you go and buy a couple of kilos of chicken breast, you can cook up some stir fries and freeze those with the frozen vegetables, the frozen rice, and you've got meals for the whole family for the whole week. And one of the things I'll do is I'll share a link down below after this video is posted on some of the recipe which I use, which is a peppered pork stir fry, but you can substitute the pork for chicken or any meat you like. It doesn't really matter. So have a look at that. It's a real easy, it's really nutritious, easy to make, and you can freeze it in the freezer, and you've got really healthy meals ready to go. Snacking is a good thing as well. Lots of fresh fruit and vegetables. Fresh fruit is great for snacking. Carrot sticks are awesome. You can chop up some carrot sticks, give them to the kids. Get a bit of carrot, some celery sticks, and some nice healthy hummus or something like that. And you've got a lovely dip and snack recipe there that you can eat watching the movies or whatever. And again, eliminating some of that sort of fatty food. But it's absolutely, things like exercise, absolutely 100% important. And obviously at Full Life Coaching, we have some great programs and some great exercise programs that can help you get fit and sort of show you sort of, what you can do to get started. Many options there, whether it's, one of the face-to-face programs where I come and visit you in your own home and train you face-to-face, or one of our many sort of low-cost online training programs, So really there's some options there, but even just getting out and doing some fast, vigorous walking every day. Aim for about 5,000 steps. 10,000 is better, but 5,000 is a great start. And you can do that anytime, anywhere. Just go for a walk around the block 3 or 4 times after work, and you'll get your steps in that way. So let's start thinking about that. Any questions or anything you want some answers for, I'm happy to sort of respond. Just message me below on the messenger link there, and I'll try and get back to you as fast as possible. If you're interested, we're running free 90-minute health checks. This is going to involve a questionnaire and sit-down consultation, just finding out about your lifestyle. A few exercises, some routines, some cardio tests, some movement tests, a BMI body fat and BMI test, and looking at your macros in your food and sort of trying to give you a bit of an idea about where you're at and then where you can start from. So I'd really encourage you to message me and book a free 90-minute consultation. We can do this online via Zoom, or I can come to your house. It doesn't really matter. Either which way, you get an idea where you're at. And sometimes finding out where you're at can be quite a good option to sort of start your fitness journey. So, yep, let's do something, folks. Let's get healthy. Look for some cheap options. Message me anytime and I'll give you some recipes and I'll give you some ideas. I'm happy to sort of do that, have a chat about that, set up a Zoom session and we can have a chat about that as well. So, yeah, look forward to hearing from you. But for now, stay healthy and keep moving.